What's up, what's up? It's SKYBOYSFO, better known as Bobby, and I do videos about flight attendant life. As you can see, I am not in uniform, still off, enjoying my days off. I'm not complaining, definitely not complaining, because it's always time to fly. But one thing good about this job is you get a lot of flexibility, you also get a lot of time off. If you want to work even more, you have that flexibility to work even more. I tend to stay like the average flight attendant. I work about, I would say about 100 hours a month. But I've seen some flight attendants up there doing 200 hours a month. I mean, they must work every day, but that's just not me. Maybe if I was young, new, and fresh, I would, but I'm none of those right now. I'm just me. Anyway, I thought I'd talk about some of the things that I always laugh at when I hear other people talk about, and that is 10 myths and facts about flying that will surprise you. Some things that people really think that really can happen or can happen on the airplane. So stay tuned. I'll be giving you some of those myths and facts and do's and don'ts. So you definitely don't want to miss this video. Number one, which I always chuckle even when I just hear about that one, is can you get sucked into an aircraft lavatory toilet? First of all, how would you even fit in that little hole? Most of you know that most aircrafts are now a suction kind of a way of getting down the waste into the back of the airplane. So it's sucked down and then shoot back to the back of the aircraft. No, you can't get sucked into an aircraft, but a lot of things can. Like I've seen people put like toilet paper down there and it sucks it all the way through and leaves like a little mark or something. Don't recommend that because the air marshals would be meeting you because you're destroying aircraft property. But I try to stay out of those lavatories as much as possible. I go and do my business, mostly wash my hands and get out. It's just not clean. And people's like, have you done the mile high? I'm like, where? Because I definitely wouldn't do it in a lavatory. It's just a no. But definitely that is not a fact. That is a myth. In case you weren't clear about that. Fact or myth? Can an aircraft door be open during flight, especially above 20,000 feet? Someone wrote in and said that the door can be open at 33,000 feet. That is a myth. In order to open the aircraft door, the pressure from the outside and the pressure from the inside have to match. Technically, yes, it can be open, but unless you are Hercules or Superman, you cannot open an aircraft door during flight above 10,000 feet. So once the aircraft is pressurized and the aircraft is moving, there is a locking mechanism as well, and if they happen to unlock the door, it cannot be open above, I believe 10,000 feet, but I have to definitely check that out for you. But no, you cannot open an aircraft door while we're in flight, so don't try it. Now, have people tried it? Probably, but no, you can. Number 3, can cabin crew or flight attendants arrest passengers for doing something wrong on an aircraft? Yes and no. The captain is in charge of the flight. They have the authority. He's in command, so the captain has the right to arrest somebody on the aircraft. Any offense you do on an aircraft is a federal offense. It's a higher ranked level crime. The only time a flight attendant could arrest you basically is when the captain is flying the aircraft, which is his primary job, and we're the eyes for the cockpit, and that we don't technically arrest you, but we can put handcuffs on you. But we definitely can't officially arrest you, but we can detain you with handcuffs with only the permission of the captain. So that's definitely a fact. Until proper authorities meet the flight, I definitely would do a quick emergency landing. It would have to be the danger of the aircraft, the cabin, or the customers in order for us to do that. So it's a yes or no answer to that. But definitely they do have the power and authority to arrest customers. Question number 4, fact or fiction? Thunderstorms increase the risk of airplane crash. Last I checked, what happens in a plane crash because of a thunderstorm? The airplanes are so structurally built and tested over and over. They've gone through all kinds of storms, hurricanes, and they cannot crash due to a thunderstorm. However, most airlines and aircraft do avoid thunderstorms just for your convenience, so making sure that when you go through a thunderstorm that you're not getting all that turbulence. That's what turbulence is being created because of the weather pattern or also wind pattern. But definitely that is a myth. Thunderstorm can make an airplane crash. There are many things that airplanes can crash, but there's nothing on record that an airplane has crashed due to turbulence. Most crashes are takeoff and landing. That is the most vulnerable part of an aircraft, is when we're taking off, pilot air, and landing. But once it's in cruise altitude, we're okay. We can go through the thunderstorm. It'll be a little bumpy, and that's one of the reasons why we do avoid it. Number 5, fact or myth. You can be 18 years old and drink alcohol on the aircraft. That is a myth. You have to be 21. I'm not sure about foreign carriers, but most U.S. domestic carriers do require all customers to be 21 years old. And also, you can only drink alcohol that was served to you. You can't bring on your Ciroc or your Hennessy. It has to be served by the airline. So definitely, you have to be 21 and you have to be served the alcohol. So that definitely is a myth. Lucky number 6, or 7's number, lucky number, right? Number 7's the lucky number. Well, number 6. Do aircrafts dump their waste when they're in the air, over the skies? Do they dump their waste management? Is that a fact or a myth? And that is a myth. Or as far as I know, U.S. carriers, we do not dump our lavatory waste in the skies. I'm not even sure it has the capability to do it, but I do know they have the capability of dumping fuel or wasting fuel over the sky. So let's say we have an emergency situation and we need to land right after we take off. We can't land with all that fuel in our tanks because of the weight, and also if something happens, that's too much fuel to just explode the aircraft. So most airlines would just circle and circle and circle till they waste fuel, or they have the capability in some of the aircrafts to just dump the fuel, keep enough to get on the ground. But no, we don't waste the lavatory waste in the skies. But although I heard years ago that there was a piece of lavatory waste in someone's backyard near the airport, but definitely, I've heard that, but I think that's definitely a myth. Now we're at lucky number 7. Do flight attendants have to be a certain height and weight? Well, back when I started, you had to be a certain height and weight, so that was a fact back in, up until the late 80s, there was a height and weight requirement. Right now, there is a height requirement. They call it a reach. You have to be above 5'2" and not taller than 6'4". I think some airlines have kind of slacked off the upper echelon of the height. Like you can be I've seen people 6'5", 6'6", but I definitely think you have to be at least 5'2" for the reach. So that's definitely a fact that you have to be a certain height, but not a certain weight. And we've all seen different sizes on the aircraft, so definitely that is a fact for the height and not the weight. Number 8, is there a row 13 on airplanes? I know for sure that my airline doesn't have a row 13 for superstitious reasons. And most airlines don't really go by the number system. Like it's not row 1 through 50. Like at my airline, every window exit is row 21 and 22. So if you're ever in row 21 and 22 on my carrier's airlines, you're always in an exit row. It doesn't matter if you're on a 777, 787, 737, the exit rows are always row 21 and 22. Sometimes first class on some of the aircrafts could be row 1, 2, and 3, then jump to row number 7. I have no idea why that is the numbering system, and we also don't have row 13, so that's definitely a fact for our airlines. But I'll check out other airlines to see if they do the same thing, or if you work for other airlines, let me know if you have a row 13 on your aircrafts. Number 9, fact or myth that cabin crew, including pilots, have parachutes underneath their seats in an event of an evacuation. First of all, I don't even know if I should answer this one, but no, people, that is a myth. We do not have parachutes. Although that is a good idea, we do not have it. But since you can't open the door, how are you going to get out? But I'm just going to leave that at no, we don't have parachutes underneath our seats, but jump seats. But good idea. Let's see if we can get Boeing to make something, a parachute with the aircraft. So if something happens, it can kind of parachute down, But I like your thinking. Number 10, fact or myth that all flight attendants are required to speak at least 4 foreign languages. I don't even have one, so that's definitely a myth. Although, I think when I started, you had to speak a foreign language. There was a waiver for me because I work for the company that I am working for now on the ground. So I was an internal transfer, so they waived the foreign language. But when I got hired, you had to speak at least 1 foreign language, not 4. And to be competitive in today's market to be a flight attendant, it always helps if you do speak multi-languages. 1, including English. You'd be surprised when people show up and barely got the English down. They might know Mandarin or they might know French, but they're still working on the English part. That should be your #1 priority. But no, it's a myth. We don't need to learn 4 languages. Also degrees. I believe so far just a high school diploma. But again, that this market is so competitive for being a flight attendant, any degrees you have will help you put you on top of the list to get you to that dream job, because I think last year 1 million people applied to be a flight attendant. They all want to be us, but you all can't. But no, and I only speak English. If I ever had a regret, is that I didn't learn a foreign language, and I guess it's not too late. So if I was to decide to speak a foreign language that is easy for somebody who's turning 50, leave a comment down below. I think maybe I should do that. It's never too late. What language should I learn? If you want me to learn your language, it has to be easy to learn. Someone that hasn't been in school in 30 years and can pick up easy. I'm thinking Spanish, so leave a comment down below what you think I should learn. Maybe I should just try something new. You never know. I thought I'd give you some of my pet peeves on the aircraft, things that just drive me crazy that customers do, or things that crew members do that just crawls under my skin. Like, the #1 thing is when I see a customer walk into the lavatories barefoot, or walk anywhere on the airplane barefoot, but let alone a lavatory. Oh, that's just puts my hair up. Puts my hair up, hair up, hair up. Or I see that poor mother put that baby on the floor and change their diaper, and I'm like, man, that baby's gonna have a rash. And I know some airlines and some lavatories don't have that little fold away thing, but get a blanket or something, but don't put them on that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Ugh, it's gross. That's probably my #1 pet peeve. I should have said that for the last segment, but definitely that. One of the famous ones is when we're doing our beverage service and the customers order 2 drinks that we absolutely hate. If you want to see a flight attendant roll their eyes, definitely order a Diet Coke. For whatever reason, of all the drinks that we serve, the Diet Coke takes the longest to pour. Because we're cheap airlines now, so we're pouring our sodas now. We're not giving the whole can unless you request it. But Diet Coke, for some reason, like Diet Sprite, anything else, no problem. But a Diet Coke, it takes about a good 30, 40 seconds to pour that drink. I mean, I can do like 5 more drinks. So I know when I hear Diet Coke, I roll my eyes, I start pouring it, and then I start asking other people what they would like to drink to give the time for the fizz to come down. So Diet Coke, are you watching this? Why are your Diet Cokes so fizzy? It drives us crazy. It takes up a lot of our time. For those flight attendants who are watching, one of the secrets that I do is I don't put the ice in first. I pour the Diet Coke in the cup first and then pour the ice, and it makes things go much faster. The second drink, at least on my airlines, is decaffeinated coffee. Most carts that we build up for a beverage cart, we don't add decaf. It's so rare that it's requested, so that means I have to go all the way back to the galley to get a decaffeinated coffee. Can I just put it half coffee and half water? Isn't that decaffeinated? And at my airlines, it's instant. It's very good instant coffee, but I have to, tear open the pouch, pour the cup in there, walk all the way back to the galley to get the hot water, to pour it back in there. It's too much. I can do a whole row by the time I get that decaffeinated. So just order coffee with a little bit extra water or something in it, but those are my 2 beverage pet peeves. Another pet peeve is when a customer uses that, do you know what status I am, when they can't get their first choice in meals or whatever their first status of their seat. You know, I'll say, sir, you can't put your bag underneath the seat because it's too big. You have to put it in the overhead bin. Do you know who I am? I am a premium cabin service person, and you can't tell me. When you get on the aircraft and when it comes to safety, it doesn't matter your status. Safety is always number one, and your status or your card is not going to make a difference if it compromises our safety. You can't get up when the seatbelt sign is on because you're a premium cabin service or a frequent flyer on our airlines. You can't. You just can't. You're just common folks. We appreciate your service. We appreciate your loyalty. We appreciate your loyalty of flying our airlines, but you're just like anybody else when it comes to safety. So don't use that, do you know who I am or my status? We hate that. Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4, then they board the aircraft. And if you are in Zone 1, you would be like premium first class, or you would be our top frequent flyer program. You get to board the aircraft first. Now, the reason why we set that up is so you don't have to wait in line. You can have a seat and wait for your row to be called because you're the first ones on. The overhead bins will still be there. The crew will be there. Your seat will be there. There's no reason for you to get there an hour before your flight and stand in line. Yes, they do, people. I've seen people get there 2 hours before and get into Zone 1 to board the aircraft. It was designed for you to have a seat, and then when we call your zone, you can come right on up, board the aircraft, and everything will be there for you. And if you're running late, and let's say you are Zone 1 and we're already on Zone 3, you can still walk up to Zone 1 and board the aircraft. So there's no need for you to come an hour or two before and stand in line. Just have a seat, sir. Have a seat. Now, if you're in Zone 5, you might want to get there an hour early and be the first one in that zone because you still might have a chance to board your carry-on luggage. But if you're pretty much Zone 4 and 5 at my airlines, already think about checking your bags. If you're an employee, already think about checking your bags. Just give it up because you can say all you want. If you're probably in Zone 5, you bought the basic economy, which does not include carry-on or maybe only one personal item. So, yeah, that's one of my pet peeves. Not more the Zone 5, but the Zone 1. Why are you in line? What are you waiting for? Are we giving away something if you board first? You still get your pre-departure. So, you know, if you are a frequent traveler, shout out to my frequent travelers of my airlines. Let me know why it's important for you to be in line 2 hours or hour before waiting to board when you can just conveniently just board when you want to board. Just let me know that. One of the things that, well, hate is a hard word, but one of the things that my friends really don't understand is they see that I fly for free, which is a great benefit, but that's it. I fly for free. And then I have to arrive and get a hotel, get a rent-a-car, get all the things that you get. So the only thing I'm really saving is my airplane ticket. Is that a lot of money? Yes, it is. But people's like, well, you fly so much, and if I work for your airlines, I'd be all over the world. Yes, we fly free. And for me, I fly completely free because I've been working for the company more than 25 years, so they waive the taxes. So I'm literally flying for free, which is, it is an amazing benefit to have, but that just gets you there. We still spend lots of money when we get there. We still do the excursions like you do. We still got to stay in the hotel like you do. We still got to get a rent-a-car. So flying ain't cheap these days. So yes, I do get there for free, but we spend coins just like you do. So it's not the only fringe benefit that I have that, you know, people, I do travel a lot, but I save my coins. I save up, and I make it look like I travel a lot. But my husband and I, we travel about maybe 4 times a year, big time. And maybe if it's a wedding or anniversary or something like that, we add an extra trip onto it. But again, it's standby. And if you've never flown standby, you will never understand how it is to fly standby. But imagine going to a wedding and it's 6 months in advance. You have no idea what the booking's going to be, flying standby. But you know you got to be at that wedding, or you're even in the wedding. You're like, we're there biting our nails like, oh Lord, please let me get on that flight because I got to go to a wedding. Now for me, if I know it's very important, like a wedding, funeral, something where I have to be somewhere, we do buy tickets. We do get a discount on our own airlines, but I go online just like you do and I look for the best price possible. But if you don't fly for free, one of the rules is try to stick to that same airlines. Even if you don't like them, even if they don't like you, try to be a part of their frequent flyer program because you get more perks. You get free travel faster, but if you bounce around to every airline looking for the cheaper price, in the long run, you lose out. Where if you're loyal to one airlines, it can pay off. So, you know, even if you don't think they're the greatest airline, if they get to where you need to go, that's the airlines you need to be on, and be doing that on a consistent basis, and not trying to save $20 because you're catching the red eye. Try to stick to that same airline. So that's a tip from a flight attendant. And the best time to buy a ticket is Tuesday night at midnight, when the airlines dump all their unused seats to like Expedia and Kayak and all those other airlines. But check out my videos to find out when's the exact best time to buy a ticket. Okay, my last pet peeve. I'm gonna get off this channel because I know it's long already, and hopefully I'll have your attention, because if I do, make sure you subscribe down below. There's more of this coming, and hit the alert button. That lets you know when I'm making a video, because you never know when I'm gonna drop a video. And if you can't get enough of me, I'm always on my Instagram at SKYBOYSFO. But my last one is, some of you travelers have been coming on the aircraft like a hot mess. Hot mess. I'm not saying dress up to the nines. I'm the old school. When I work for the airlines, we have to dress up as a representative of the company. And when I first started, we had to be in a suit and tie, and I used to complain all the time. Fast forward 30 years later, I still dress up decent. I still put a nice pair of jeans on, nice pair of shoes, nice button down, and try to look the part. But can you wear leggings and warm up in jogging suits and all that stuff? Yes, you can, but just kind of dress it up a little bit, comb your hair, don't catch a red eye with your pajamas on and all that. And one of the things you get from the crew is respect even more. When we see a nice, well-dressed traveler, you are in our hands. We will take good care of you because you took the time to dress up. We will take the time to give you even more greater customer service. But just clean it up a little bit. Brush your teeth with the bad breath, comb your hair, put on something different. You know, it's still an airplane, and somebody else had to sit there after you sit there. So don't come on your jogging suits and sweatpants and leggings and all that, because it's a public area, and you don't, you know, just imagine who was sitting before you in that seat. So, you know, you guys got to step it up. You know, fashion is definitely dropping. That's one thing I do miss when I started in the 80s, that people still kind of was dressing up. But yeah, that's all my pet peeves. Well, I got more, but that's all I got for right now. Thank you guys so much for watching my channel and listen to my crazy self rant and rave and all that good stuff. Stay tuned. I have tons of videos and contents coming up to stimulate your pleasure. But again, definitely subscribe to my channel, and my Instagram is SKYBOYSFO. My life as a flight attendant. Thank you.